Hi there. In this video, I'm going to go through the steps required to set up a grade sheet based on the Google Gradesheet version 5. This is applicable for both middle school and high school teachers. There are a few differences, but nonetheless, it uses the same grade sheet. So first off, we're going to go over to the professional development classroom. If you are not part of that class, feel free to use the code here to add yourself as a student, and you'll be able to access all the documents. Once you've done that, if you go over to the classroom work page and scroll down to where it says grade sheets, it is a little ways down. You'll notice that there's a bunch of different sections in here. If you scroll down to grade sheets, which is about little more than halfway down, you'll see there's Gradesheets V5, copy me please. At this point, you'll see there's a whole bunch of stuff, including a guide on how to use it from before. I will update with this video once we have completed it. But you can see that there's Gradesheets V5. That is the newest version. Now, once you get this, it will probably be a view-only document. So in that case, click File, Make a Copy, and then name it whatever you'd like. Now I'm going to actually make my grade sheet, so I'm going to set it up for ICS 3U. And it's Velgi 2021.1 because it's semester 1. I'm going to save it to my drive right now, but eventually I'm going to transfer this into my eBinder so that it's all in one place. And I'll click OK. Now it opens another tab with the grade sheet that I can now edit. I can safely close this one. Now, for those that have used grade sheets before, I've listed out all of the major changes between V4 and V5 over here, so feel free to read through that on your own if that is something that you are using. If you're brand new to it, you probably don't need this. You can pretty safely close this up. And there are a few instructions here for the basic way to set up your course. Now, there are some older videos that are also linked here that are very helpful, but this one should include everything you need to get started. So first up, we have our first time setup. So if you click this green tab that says first time setup, course weightings, this is what you need to check first. The boxes here, B1, F1, and J1 are the main three that we want to set up correctly. Make sure that your course value is set correctly, and make sure you have the correct percentages for CCT and exam. If, let's say, you have a 10% CCT, you can just enter a 10 here and a 20 here. It should add up to 100%. Whatever the case might be for your course, once you have updated these two values and you click somewhere else, this value should stay 100%. These values should update. As long as that is the case, you are good to go. Since my course is a 30% CCT and no exam, I'm going to set it to 30 and 0. As soon as it updates, it gives me 100%, course 70, CCT 30. That's exactly what I want to see. Now, for some courses, particular people may be choosing to update or adjust the kika categories to be slightly different weightings. If that's the case for you, in this green column, feel free to adjust them. As long as they equal 100% in this column, it will reflect as part of your course value here. So these numbers should add up to 100. These numbers should add up to probably 70, considering that your course is 70%. Same thing for CCT and exams. If you have a different weighting for your CCT kika or your exam kika, adjust it right here. Okay? Other than that, you've basically set up your course the way you need. Now, this is where we get into a little bit for middle school and a little bit for high school that's different. Middle school, you should notice that all of these are your strand categories. This is to help you use grade sheets to then also be able to view it by strands. Normally, the grades page will calculate all of them together, which is not useful for you. So you'll be using the strand view, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But make sure that all of the strands that you need are set up correctly in this column. Those of you in high school or teaching high school rather, you can update this to be your units. You don't have to use this at all. For high school, it's not required to use this because for our grades, we don't actually need to filter it by a certain category. But it is nice for some formative information to have your units set up. So the units that I'm going to set up are intro week. Add a couple of small tasks in the intro week. I have Java 1, which is the intro level, the intro level Java, the basics, or maybe let's call it Java basics. And then Java advanced. And then I'll have the careers section. And then I have my CCT. So those are the only ones I have for units, and that's fine. If you have others, you can fill up this row in the blue box. If you don't want to use it, you can leave it completely blank, and that's fine too. Okay. Once you've done that, you have done the major component of setup that needs to be done. When you come to the grades category over here, this is where you enter your information as listed. So course code is ICS3U. I am going to go by Belgi. It is 2021. It is semester 1. Great. Now, once this is set, you'll notice that there are some names and it says full name, don't edit. So that's actually pretty important. Don't edit this column at all. Notice that there's a little plus sign up here. This is the key. Hit that plus sign and all this additional space pops up. This is where you're going to put your student names, email addresses, and parent email addresses if need be. When you edit these columns, the full name column will automatically update. Since I deleted them, the names have disappeared. Okay? The nicknames will be manually removed as well. But don't put anything in this column. I will show you how to hide that later on if you don't want it. But more importantly, we need to go get our students. Now, if you have been at SIS before July of 2019, you will be able to use roster sync as you have used before. Roster sync is still available. It's just a hidden away sheet, but anyone who has joined us after 2019 July, or if you have maybe changed computers or changed your Google access, you may not be able to. You will get a privacy issue with trying to use roster sync. It's really unfortunate, but now we need a workaround. The workaround is actually not too complicated. The problem is that we can't get our parent emails as easily. But to get the students at least, I'm going to go to my list, over to ICS3U, and I can go over to any assignment in my classroom that I have assigned. It doesn't have to be completed. It doesn't have to be fully submitted. I don't even have to have marked it. Just any assignment, whether it's complete or not. And I open it up. So I'm going to click either view assignment or turned in, assigned, doesn't matter, any of those three. I go over to the little gear wheel here, and I click on download these grades as CSV. Once I do that, it pops open to let me download an Excel document. I download the Excel document, it's right here, and I'm going to open it. Opening the Excel document will give me the information I need to copy and paste into my grade sheet from this class. Okay. So I have my information. I have last name, first name, email address. That's all I need. So I'm going to copy these three columns. Copy the information, Control-C or Command-C if you're on a Mac. I come over to here, and I'm going to paste it directly into this column here, last name, first name, email. As soon as I paste it, the information pops up in the full name column. Perfect. Like I said, getting parent emails is a little bit more manual. I'll talk about that a little later. But for now, Once this information is updated and once you have all their names here, you can pretty safely close this section back up. If you would like, you're welcome to start entering names and that sort of thing, but you don't need to enter a nickname. What is required is having a full name. Okay? Now that I have their full names entered, it is going to be set and I can start adding grades. Grading can be done over here with any assignments. Now, whenever you do major assignments, it will have to be in 4 categories. So the 4 kika categories. If you have a single assignment that covers all 4, you're going to make 4 copies of the same assignment, and you're going to add the grades in for each component individually. So your English essay, for instance, has 4 parts, K, I, C, A. Each of the 3, K, I, C, all have a weight of 2, and the A has a weight of 1. That means that each of these components are worth twice as much as this one. Right? So it will tell you the information that you should be entering is right here in the weight section, the category section, the COPS section, and the score. You do not need to enter anything in the gray section. In fact, you shouldn't enter anything in the gray section. This is showing you how much of their entire grade is affected by this one assignment. So basically it's saying that the knowledge component of their English essay is worth 12.5% of their overall grade. This is telling the average based on the grades that you have entered. So since there are a ton of students who have no grades entered, it's showing that the average is 7% for this class. If you want to leave one blank but not include it in their grade, you can put a dash. As you put a dash, it will omit them from that assignment. It will not calculate based on their grade, but the average will still reflect based on having that entered. Okay, so putting a dash here will mean that it is omitted from the student's overall grade, but the average will still reflect the entire column. Now, in terms of grading, you can see the different ways that you can based on what you see here. You can have a score of a number and then give grades based on that, or you can use levels. The levels are based on what we have set over here. So you can see that the possible levels that you can give as a grade are from P, which is for plagiarism, a 0, R minus, all the way up to 4++. The numbers that are displayed here are the equivalent percentages that will be entered when you enter these numbers. Okay? So that is given to you just for reference. So you're welcome to use any method of grading you choose to enter the grades. You can just make a section out of 100 and give a percentage straight away. You can make it out of a point value and give points that way. Whichever one works for you, that's perfectly fine. You just need to type the word level in this box if that's what you're choosing to do. Okay? So that sets up your grade sheet, and when you're adding assignments, you follow this pattern all the way. Now, for using the filter views, that is where it appears on the side here. They are underlined in red. There is grades by Kika, but I'm not going to show you that one yet because it's comparably not as useful as the grades by strand or unit. If you click here, you will get an exact copy of your grade sheet. The only difference is there is one column right here that says filter grade sheet by, and there's a little pull down menu. Notice that the topics that are available here are the ones that I set in advance. These are my units. So if I wanted to see how a student is doing based on just one unit, I can select that. So let's say I'll select intro week. Now I haven't assigned anything to intro week, so it's showing up blank. But let's go back. If I go to my grades, and let's say that this potions assignment was an intro week assignment, let's say that this English essay was an intro week assignment. Now that I've entered it in this column here, if I go back to my filter, I will see people's grades based on just the intro week assignments. I can also update it based on any of the other components as long as I am using the strand or unit labels that are listed here. So if you don't enter anything in here, it's fine. It's just that you won't be able to view by filtering by strand or unit here. The kika categories work in a very similar way, meaning that you can sort by K, I, C, or A. The main reason I would use this is to compare communication for some students that have a weaker vocabulary and compare it to other components, like let's say their application. This would be something that might be useful as formative information during a parent-teachers meeting. But that is, of course, based on how you decide to teach. So this has been an overview of how to use all the components that you see here on the grade sheet. There are a few other components here, and I'll briefly go over them, but this is what you'll probably need from day to day. Once you've done your first time setup, and if you've set up your strands or units how you'd like, you can safely hide this sheet, and you can even hide any of the others that you're not using. There is a tab for the comment bank that you can see. It will be updated based on the time that you upload this, or rather download this from the site. Once you've downloaded it, it does not update automatically, so just be aware that there may be a few changes. I'll have a future video on how you can use this in your Google Classroom, or rather your Google Gradesheet directly. For now, though, I'm going to go ahead and hide this. Now, there is roster sync available. If you have roster sync set up already and it works, awesome. Most people will probably encounter an error that will say something like the permissions for this are not available, or contact the administrator of the script, or something along those lines. It's nothing that we can control, unfortunately, because we did not create this. But if it works for you, it's great, because then you get your guardian email addresses and you also get your classroom information. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be working, at least at the time of recording. Everything else should be working. There is a combined kika and strand plus unit, meaning that you can actually combine checking all the knowledge-based stuff from intro week, for instance, right? So you can use two categories to check percentages. That's a little more specific, but if it works for you, great. Now, coming back to the main grade sheets and what you do on the daily components, if you're finding that you need a little more space over here, you can click column B and hit hide. It will give you this warning. Go ahead and click OK. As long as you are just hiding it and not deleting it, you should see these two little arrows pop up. If that's the case, you're perfectly fine. You would need to include their nicknames, otherwise you're not going to know who's there. But if you include a nickname, then it saves a little space over here. You can do the same with column A if you're not going to be using it to sort by multiple sections. So that will save you a little space, and then that way you have more area on the right to work. Okay, so at this point, I will leave this video here since it is quite long already. I'll be making a future video on how to use Formule to send information or grades to students, and also how to optimize using your comment bank in your grade sheets. But for now, have a good day.